Pickaxe.
Hello! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Welcome to the Review of Death, your fortnightly home for Doctor Who news, reviews, all that stuff that we talk about.
Yeah.
He's ill, I'm ill.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those kind of episodes.
Yeah.
We've got to do 2 of these.
Yeah.
So if for some reason the next one that we record is like 22 minutes long, sorry, but we're both a bit sick. But
yeah.
It's our last session of the year, and we've worked ourselves down to the bone. Matthew.
We have, haven't we? Really, it's been a bit of a long year.
Yeah, but
We've
it's been
done so
great.
much.
Yeah, I mean we have a new set.
We have a new set
that came with the live stream.
Yeah.
We did live shows. We had loads of interviews.
Yeah.
We had Jodie's last few episodes to go through.
My God, yeah, I forgot. Was that this year?
We had the Roddies. That was
did
earlier
have the
this
Roddies,
year.
yeah. Have we got another Roddies coming?
We have got another Roddies coming
That's
up
good,
in January.
that's good.
Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong camera,
Oh,
Matthew,
yeah.
'cause we've got this weird camera setup.
We've got a weird
going on at the
camera
moment.
setup, which may or may not make it into the final thing.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So we are looking at the different cameras, so we probably need to keep it this way. For the audio listeners, they won't give a shit.
No.
But
in the
we often
theatre
do
of
that
their
to you.
minds.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be like, I don't know, in front of a live studio audience.
We could be, I mean, we might as well have just faked all the stuff that we did at Pandorica.
Yeah.
Just have somebody pressing one of those Hanna-Barbera applause
Yeah,
machines in the
that'd
corner.
have been good, that'd have been good.
And we, of course, the show went international for the first time with the New Zealand stuff, which you'll be seeing a lot more of, I guess.
The show went
in the new
international.
year.
Oh yeah,
Well,
bloody hell, I see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place
Yeah.
because I keep forgetting that you have been to New Zealand already.
In this calendar year. Yeah. And we did Legend of the Sea Devils, and we did a couple of episodes away.
It literally only feels like the other day we were sat over there talking about the window, the witch.
Oh, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
That shit
That was
story.
last Christmas. Yeah. And
Although we did decide that it was just shit, but
okay.
Yeah. Tolerable crap.
I completely forgot what we were going to talk about today. Are we going to say the same thing about today's episode, Matt?
I don't think so.
Good. We'll get there, eh?
Yeah.
In the spirit of Christmas.
Yes.
Let's exchange some gifts because
Yes.
we do this every
here we go.
Christmas.
Right then.
Well, there's 2 parts to yours.
Oh my God. Well, there is 2 parts to yours.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the other part hasn't been dispatched yet.
Well, I will incinerate this in the meantime.
Yeah.
All right. Does that make sense? Is that a fair exchange?
All right. So
Right.
there's your one.
Okay.
Now, I struggled this year
Yes.
because I thought, well,
What do you get the Whovian that has everything? Which
what
is
do you,
my
well,
struggle with you.
what do you get the Whovian that has everything and is now going to get rid of it all because he's moving
True.
countries? So I thought, well, it can just be just a little something.
Yeah.
It's a bit daft, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you'll appreciate it. You'll probably be the only person on planet Earth that appreciates it more than anyone else.
I've got a 13th Doctor action figure and I love them, and I've got a Yaz and a Weeping
Well, I thought you
Angel.
haven't got Yaz, you haven't got her in a
I haven't got
snazzy jacket,
Yaz.
and I thought you can take them out the box, stuff them in your shirts going through the airport.
Yeah, that's true.
They won't take up any space in your suitcase whatsoever.
No.
Or failing that, you can just stick them up your backside and smuggle them in that way.
I might do that before I leave.
Nice.
I think this is the first companion action figure, new series companion action figure I've owned and had since the first Amy Pond.
Wow, my God.
I mean, not that they've produced an awful lot since
Clara, Bill.
then. Graham, them. Yeah,
so-
that's kind of it. But
Yeah,
thank you very much, man.
You've got your space lesbian set.
I mean, why they didn't put that on the box?
Yeah.
I'll never know.
I'll have words with Al. Is there an order to this?
No, take your pick. What do you fancy?
I'll go little first.
Yeah, little first. This might require you to do an impromptu. Da 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 da.
Right.
da, da, da.
Okay.
I've had my eye on these for a little while, and I just want to see if you remember anything about them.
Character builder display set figure. Damn, I don't know what the. Wow.
Show the nice people at home. Matthew.
Micro figures.
Does anybody have a memory of this, like in a
Sorry,
kind
it's
of
not that. There we are.
nostalgic
That's
sense?
better focus. Wow, okay.
Viewers, tell us if this is something you...
So there's a figure inside... Yeah, there's
inside each one, and it's like a blind bag thing.
Cool.
But then also, I thought this was quite neat.
You stack them on top of...
You can stack them on top of each other.
That's really cool.
This might make you shit tons of money, you never know. These might have a great resale value.
Right, so I've opened the bottom.
There's a little plinth.
And then what have we got in here? Ooh!
Ooh!
It's a Dalek, but not just any Dalek. It's an Ironside Dalek.
The racist Daleks.
The racist... Well, they're all racist.
Well, you know, but, you know...
Even more
Winston
racist.
Churchill. Yeah. Oh, they're weird. They're weird thing. Oh my God, there's so many different parts.
So there's quite a lot of pieces.
Do you want me to put it together while you open
put
the
it
other
together
one?
while I do that. So there you are. Have fun.
Right, I'll invariably choke on or lose.
And then there's like a little booklet inside telling you
who else
the other figures you can get. Shall we have a look?
Go on.
So in this wave, Series 4, you can get the 12th Doctor in Matt Smith's costume.
Yeah.
The 12th Doctor as himself. The 11th Doctor as himself. Oswin, Vastra, Clara, Strax, War Doctor, Captain Jack Harkness, Cyberman. You've lost a bit, haven't you already? Dalek, Zygon.
I got it.
Well done. It's like, wow, that was short-lived. That could have been like one of the super rare ones. I don't think it is, but...
no. And even if it is, you know, I'm not sure they'll be going for an awful lot.
No. That's cool. I quite like that. I like the little cases. Right, let's...
I think putting this together is the most fun I've had with the Doctor Who action figure in decades.
There we go.
That is your review.
That's the review.
That they can put on the character building website as they continue to sell these highly successful... Oh, wait. Oh, no, I keep dropping the gun.
I think they did quite well, actually, for a time. I think they went...
Were they?
I think so.
We should have asked Al about them.
Oh, and then... perfect.
Oh.
Cyberman.
So now the army building can truly begin.
There we go. Hang on.
I'm going to have to blow my nose, so this might necessitate
Oh,
another
bollocks.
cut.
Well,
oh, no.
I did exactly the same thing as he did and dropped it all over the floor. Luckily, Cyberman is like a Lego bloke. Only has so many pieces.
Oh, good.
So it was just the head.
Thank the Lord.
And there we go. Little Cyberman.
Oh, yeah, I've got to put it on the base.
Put it on the plinth.
I got to say...
Take the thing out.
Putting it together was actually quite fun.
That's cool. Fuck. I like that. Because I've got some character builder figures. I've got all the Doctors.
Have you?
On my on one of my shelves at home. So I will put this Cyberman in a glass. This is like Dark Water, isn't it?
It is. Except the BBC aren't going to get complaints.
Yeah. Very good. I like that. That's cool. You can stick the Dalek on the top.
There we go. And it's not like Lego where you can stack it any which way you fancy. You have to go in a specific... There you go. That's quite neat, isn't it?
That's cool. I like it.
Okay, well, there you go. There's your...
Lovely stuff.
That's one half.
That's one...
That's only one present I got.
I know. I'm sorry. I had...
Look, do you know what? It's Christmas. We've got to get used to disappointments.
It was supposed to turn up last Friday.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, yeah, we haven't even got them come through from the factory yet.
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's...
That's from the factory?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was like, ooh. Oh.
Now, I know you like your slippers.
I do.
You like your slippers. Now, let me just get rid of that.
I do love my slippers.
Don't you love them?
I do. Now, what?
I think you should put them on now.
Yeah?
I think you should give the foot fetishists in the rod community what they want.
Well... I'm sure they'll love this. Now, what size are these? Or is it one size fits all?
Well, I mean, I had to guess. And it's 8 to 10.
Oh, fine. Yeah, that'll fit me then.
Get in. You know what those Italians are like. You can never be sure of their shoe size.
Right, let's go. Interesting the way they've designed this. That it's like one window and the thing, but the full signage.
Yeah, the full signage on both. Because otherwise, you're just going to have one foot that says police.
Right.
And one foot that says box. That might
look
a bit
cut
odd.
out. Right.
There's one set.
That's one on. Nice.
That's my OnlyFans popping off. Excuse me, everybody.
OnlyFans mucus edition.
People will pay for anything.
That is true. That is true. When you hear about these mad women who are like, I sell my farts to disgusting men on the internet, and you're like,
Hoovian bathwater. We should sell that to people online. You know we'd have some takers. Oh, there we go. Look
lovely.
at that. The height of Hoovian fashion. There you go. You are opening yourself up to all manner of things to get photoshopped there. I think you should probably put your feet down. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Let's talk about...
As soon as your present turns up...
Yeah.
I'll send it over to you.
I'll put it where the rest of that stuff's going. Right, on to the news.
The news
time.
These are really comfy, actually.
Are they?
Yeah,
well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
I should have just had a little...
Just have a little wander around. Do you need to go around the shop, sir, and just check that they fit?
Yeah, no, they're all right. They're good. They keep the feet warm on a cold winter's night. We got plenty of those coming up because it's like
plenty of those coming
Dickensian Christmas these days.
Plenty of cold nights coming up without Doctor Who, but we do know a little bit about what's coming up.
Yes.
In the no, actually it's not near future, in the far-flung future of 2024. Space year 2024, which is still over a full year away.
That is insane, isn't it?
So per DWM,
yes.
We found out from RTD that we're going to get 8 episodes of Doctor Who for Series 14, plus a festive special in 2024, which he is currently writing. And he's quoted as saying, okay, it's fewer episodes than the last full season, but give us time, we have plans, and that's a promise.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Matt?
It means that there's just going to be more regular episodes.
Thank you very much. So ends the new segment for the day.
Yeah, so he said it was like, it takes a while to build the empire, doesn't he? That's what he said, something like that.
And it's a lot of that we're hearing about.
He made a point of, no gaps, so I'm guessing that a lot of the stuff we've been hearing about spin-offs, which we've been hearing quite a lot about, is probably somewhat true, I have thought. So that's interesting.
Oh, I forgot to put down on the running order the spat that happened over Twitter.
Spat?
Well, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Because there's a Christmas special for 2023 as well, isn't
yes,
there?
Yes. So
but he did clarify
done.
that Christmas special doesn't necessarily mean Christmas Day.
No.
It just means festive season, this time
Holiday
of year.
special.
But one would hope that it's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Because I think Christmas Day just feels like the place for a Doctor Who episode.
I mean, as we'll discuss in a bit.
Well,
there we
quite.
go.
Yeah.
The TARDIS set got leaked.
TARDIS set did get leaked.
Which we won't talk about because we know people probably don't want to know all the ins and outs of that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe they put a stripper pole in there.
No.
And then the big thing is we now know what the 15th Doctor looks like. Oh,
yes, of course. The
in
costume.
his outfit.
God, I'm so sorry. My brain has just...
Don't worry.
Addled today.
It's fine.
I forgot that has actually happened. Yeah. So we saw... But filming has started.
Filming has started.
Did you see the picture from filming? The TARDIS was like on some a body of water.
I couldn't
and there were some people.
tell what it was.
No, not me.
It kind of looked like a indoor-outdoor space station.
It was weird, but yeah.
I guess we
still got the Jodie TARDIS.
Still got the Jodie police, which I'm very surprised at.
I'm really surprised at.
There we go. A bit of continuity.
I kind of wish we didn't, in a way. I mean, I like the Jodie box, but I kind of feel like everything else has changed. Yeah, change the police box.
I guess that is just a very gentle reminder that it's still the same show and that it's the continuity. And which other Doctor, apart from the Fourth Doctor, is that bothered by the dimensions of the exterior of the police box? No one else has ever brought it up.
No, true.
So I'm sure Ncuti's much more interested in his $300, $400 jacket that he's wearing.
Yeah.
Which is like Peter Capaldi all over again. I want it to be simple and affordable so kids can cosplay it. And then he just dresses in Tom Ford from head to toe. Yeah. It's nuts.
It's bonkers. Well, let's talk about that costume.
What did you think when you first saw it?
I just sort of thought, oh, is that it? I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I kind of expected something else.
Everybody said that, but I can't, because I'm not sure what I was expecting. But I think everybody expected something else, but they can't quite say what it was that they were expecting. But not this.
Not this. I mean, I'm surprised they've got like more plaid, considering that the 14th Doctor's costume was also plaid. So that's quite weird. I don't like the fact that the trousers and the coat are the same. It's the same pattern, but one slightly bigger, because it just feels too much of the same thing. I think I would prefer... I like the trousers. I think maybe if the trousers are stuck the same, I like the boots, maybe have a different type of coat.
What do you think about the crop top?
It's, again, I mean, I imagine it's one of those things where the colours are going to change.
Yeah.
So I don't think orange is the best colour, because it's so similar to the brown. So it just looks like it's all one colour. I think it needed something else just to break it up a bit.
One thing that is worth saying is that every other Doctor besides Joe Martin, and we only ever saw Joe Martin in one costume, has been a white person dressing. Yeah. And there are certain hues and certain colours that just don't work. People with darker skin just don't wear them because it doesn't work, in their opinion. So whenever I see online people doing like slight recolorizations of Ncuti's costume as like, here's a pink version and here's a grey one. It's like, but the decision has been made with the fact that he is the first, mainline male black Doctor. Yeah. Those decisions are made, with that in mind. Yeah. I really like the costume. I think it's doing the RTD stripping it back to basics thing.
It's very that, isn't it?
But it's got enough of texture and enough of a pop of colour for me to be like, oh well, it's interchangeable, and I'm sure it's not the first variety of costume we'll see them wear.
I'm sure it'll change. I think he said that at the BAFTAs, didn't he? He said that the costume will
I'm sure it'll
evolve.
Be in flux.
But there was that interesting picture with the hat. Did you see the picture?
I did see the picture of the hat.
And I think he'd look good in a hat.
I think he'd look amazing in a hat. Yeah. I mean, I think the inference there is that we'll get a hat.
I hope so.
And also that means another variety of action figure, which I'm sure everybody's very happy about.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hatted 15th Doctor with solemn face. And what sort of this I'm hearing about the moustache being stuck on?
The moustache isn't real.
Is it really not real?
It's not real. I guess he's only just come off of sex education, so it's
true.
Got to grow in.
And also maintaining that across a shoot, it's much easier just to shave it and
stick one on.
I think that makes sense. But we all know that glued-on tashes can work in Doctor Who thanks to Brigadier. So that's all good. And then the only other kind of details, I guess, we've got the brogue boots back as a bit of a Capaldiism, which is nice. And then
lovely boots. I want a pair of those. But
they do look very nice.
Again, they're like £400 aren't they, or something?
They're all ridiculously expensive. And then the rings and the nail art, which is like a nice little touch. And
the rings are good. I like the rings. The nail art is a bit odd, but whatever.
He's an alien,
Did you go down the tattoo parlour?
Absolutely.
Was it John Pertwee? They came with the body.
You like with the tat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
I wonder what they mean.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out if there's a new Gallifreyan alphabet that's been
Fuck Barusa.
Fuck the Tories, more likely. Yeah. Well, I hope so. Let's see what the Rodders thought of it all. Right. Let's see what the Rodders thought. Well, maybe it can be a good jumping off point. Patrice said, the more time passes since it was revealed, the more disappointed I feel the Doctor's eccentric wardrobe reduced to high street fashion.
Yeah, that was
the first thing you said.
The first thing I was like, it looks like he's just come out of a catalogue. Yeah. Or like it's just like a poster for H&M or Topshop.
Which, I mean, I look at Tennant's costume and think he's not far off.
No,
that with his pinstripe suit.
Seeing them all together, because someone did a little picture where it was Eccleston, Tennant, and who was the other one? Tennant.
That's going to be confusing. That's not going to get any less confusing.
Well, I mean, I did my Regeneration set review and I kept calling him the 10th Doctor all the time. It's the most annoying thing.
I love it.
And again, it was that whole thing. It was like, wow, they do just really look like normal blokes. Yeah. Maybe slightly quirky.
I guess the point is the Doctor's kind of got to blend into his surroundings a bit.
Yeah.
He can't dress for one time period too much, which is something that the Doctor did back in the day, and there is an eccentricity to that. But also I think you can have a simple, elegant outfit with a sliver of eccentricity and still kind of blend in. I think that's what this has managed to do. I think it's juggled all those elements quite well.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is, we've had 15 of these buggers now. More actually. And it's like, well, there's only so much you can do with a frock coat and velvet before it starts getting the same. So I understand that it's difficult. And I mean, I would much sooner have Ncuti's costume than, say, Jodie's costume.
Sure.
Because Jodie's costume looked like a costume. It looked like someone had sat down and designed it.
That's true.
Whereas this does feel like, well, I've gone to a very posh high street shop and spent a lot of money.
I'm appearing on the cover of GQ and I need an stats.
Gallifreyan Vogue. Thank you.
Flat Cap Hoovian says, honestly, I thought we'd see a more vibrant costume, but I imagine the outfit will grow on me once we see it in action.
Yeah.
By vibrant, were people thinking like electric pink or
I don't know. I just think when we've seen him in stuff before, and he's very flamboyant, this is not flamboyant, really.
But again, you know, he's not dressing for the, what's it called, Met Gala. He's dressing to adventure through space and time.
Yeah, but Colin Baker, you know.
Yeah, I know, but that is a car crash of an outfit. Everybody knows it's a car crash of an outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, look, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Because I think someone on Twitter was like, I bet Matt hates it.
I mean...
And I was like, no, I don't hate it.
People have pretty much worked out that you were going to be less favourable about it towards...
I mean, the thing is, I think at the moment, I'm feeling about it the same way I felt about Peter Capaldi's costume.
Yeah.
When that whole Rebel Time Lord bullshit came
but
out.
that was bullshit anyway.
And I remember thinking of the costume as like, well... It's a bit plain, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about this. It's fine. And I'm sure that as he gets more stuff, put a hat on, or whatever, you know.
I really like on the website where they sell the jacket.
Yeah.
There's a photo of it done up.
Right.
And it looks really nice. It's got like a big belt.
Yeah.
You can tie around it, and I just thought him stepping out the TARDIS with a hat on, looking like that, he'll look great.
Do you know who he'll look like?
Go on.
He'll look like
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, yeah, but he'll look like, I was going to say, the Doctor from the 80s cartoon that they didn't get made.
Yeah, maybe that's the source of inspiration.
Yeah,
you never know. You just need a long scarf.
Yeah.
Darth Egregious, it's a fashionable outfit, but not very dramatic, eccentric, or doctorish to me. I get there is not very dramatic. It's not.
No.
Besides the fact that it's a big flappy coat.
Yeah.
Which will look great when a wind machine gets turned on. But you know,
I think that's what it is. It's just because it's the same coat, the same pattern as the trousers.
Yeah.
I just think it needs to be something else, like a different coloured coat.
I mean, I'd love to. I'm sure we'll get it in the next DWM because I can't imagine that Ncuti won't be on the cover of the next DWM in that outfit.
In DWM, in the editorial bit at the front, it did say something like, "All fans aren't going to want to miss the next issue." And
I imagine we'll have a breakdown of the costume, and maybe once we learn what inspired what, because I know it's plaid, but it's a kind of a tartan.
Yeah, it is tartan. Yeah.
So it might be like going back to Ncuti's Scottish roots. And somebody mentioned, I don't know if it's on these points, but you never really see the Doctor wear orange.
No.
And that's a cool colour.
Yeah.
And so it's all about those little touches.
Any Doctor wore orange. Christopher Eccleston wore orange in Time Lord Victorious.
And that doesn't count. Matthew Bradley, despite initially being lukewarm, I really like it. I don't think the publicity stills do it justice as they obscure the nails and the rings, perhaps successfully to avoid whining from the tabloids. If anyone isn't going to give a shit about whining from the tabloids, it's Russell T Davies.
That's true.
I'm sure he's absolutely fine with that. Yep. Ben Lewis, completely different to what I expected, but I immediately dig it. Would be nice if he would switch out the orange jumper for a Christmas one for the specials.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. I was kind of wondering if we'd get question mark motifs. I would have quite liked that on Ncuti's costume. What if he had just a white jumper with a big orange question mark in the middle of it? And Steve Maggs...
Like the Riddler. Wait, is that Forbidden Planet jumper that you can get?
Oh, that T-shirt.
Black with the red.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's like, where have you got that from?
It's not.
I've got my coat that was 400 quid from wherever.
And you're not coming near me with that Lavazzi scarf. That is not touching this. And Steve Maggs, I'm wondering if it's a costume, not the only costume given Ncuti's love for fashion.
Yeah.
That is another option. It may not even be that you get a variation on this. It might be that he has like 2 or 3 wildly different costumes through the series.
Yeah.
That he just kind of changes in and out of depending on that. I mean, this is all fantasy.
I mean, look at John Pertwee. I mean, his costume changed.
I suppose fundamentally it's always a
velvet
jacket. It's always a frilly shirt.
I mean, it might just be for him. They're like, well, we'll always keep the coat, and then maybe and the boots, and maybe the trousers will change, and the jumper will change.
I think it's more likely the jumper will change because I guess otherwise you would have seen maybe on that website that they've got different colour variations of that jacket and the trousers, but they don't. So I'm kind of thinking maybe the jumper will just change. Like Eccleston.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
No.
I think he looks great. We saw obviously Ruby in costume, Millie in costume.
She looked like Rose Tyler.
She looked like Rose. She looked exactly like Rose Tyler.
It was a bit weird. I was like, ooh, what's this Rose Tyler coming back?
It's all a go. It's all happening.
And I had a little look because Discussing Film on Twitter posted the picture and said, oh, here's Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor Who. It was really interesting because I thought, I wonder what people are saying here, as opposed to on the Doctor Who's.
The not-wees.
Yeah, the not-wees. And so many of them were, I thought David Tennant was coming back as Doctor Who.
Yeah, I wondered when that was going to start.
And it was like, yeah, this does feel slightly confusing. But, I mean, it's all right for us loonies because we know exactly what's going on. But
yeah, but again, the person on the street, I wonder if you did a poll and went into the centre of Bristol and said, who is the current Doctor? They probably go, it's that woman in it, or David Tennant, or when's that other guy coming along?
Yeah.
It would be any one of those three. So, I mean, I'm sure they would have been aware that was going to be the case, that people were going to be a bit dubious as to who the actual Doctor was at any given moment. But, we'll just have to see how it all unfolds and how people take to David Tennant being back for, the quick shout that he'll be in the role for. And then we'll be on to Ncuti in A Brave New World.
Yeah, it's going to be weird, isn't it? And exciting.
We're going to saddle ourselves with David Tennant for the rest of this video.
Yeah, and the next one.
We're going to talk about The Runaway Bride.
We are going to talk about The Runaway Bride. We should also mention that the diamond logo is sticking around for Ncuti.
Oh!
That's not just a 60th anniversary thing. That is the logo for Ncuti.
For Doctor Who going
Doctor
forward
Who.
now.
Apparently they just chose it because they loved it.
Yeah. I mean, if a designer came to me with that, I'd go, you're fired for copying somebody else's work. But nice, yeah, it looks really good. I like what you've done with it. I like the colours.
Oh, that little gold glow around the edge. Yeah, it makes all the difference.
I mean, it's literally, I could not recognise that logo from anything else now that you've changed the colours.
And there was also, from Scott Hancock's little bit that he now writes for DWM.
Oh, yeah.
He mentioned that there's a monster from Block 1 that the name of which, I try and see if I remember this rightly, it was something like, it was a nod to monsters of both the 4th and 7th Doctor's eras.
Right.
But they said if we tell you what it is, it will give the game away.
So what could it possibly be?
Well, Annie and I were sort of thinking, like, could it be some sort of ancient being? Like, could it be like a Sutek or a Ragnarok or a Fenric or that kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, it might be some sort of like ancient evil thing, or like the Fendal or
the Fendal,
something like that.
Yeah.
They're Hemodals.
There we go. You've heard it here first, folks.
Scott and I DM quite often, so he slips me these things every now and again. First episode, Hemodals. I think that's what he called them anyway. I can't remember.
Very nice.
Runaway
Bride.
Runaway Bride. Bloody hell, Matthew! How long has it been since you watched The Runaway Bride?
It has been, let me think, several years.
Several years? Probably on your last rewatch?
When I did the big rewatch, yeah, so I've not seen it in ages.
Well, let's take you way back. The Runaway Bride, 25th of December 2006, written by Russell T Davies, directed by Euros Lyn.
Yeah.
9.3 million viewers.
Wow.
Can you imagine Doctor Who getting viewing figures like that? Maybe next year.
Maybe.
You never know.
You never know. If not next year, maybe the year after.
Yeah, well, let's
not run before we can walk.
Christmas number 1.
Thank me.
A particular TV show is at the height of its powers here.
Ooh,
and always claimed the Christmas... always claimed the Christmas number 1 spot, or for a couple of years anyway.
A TV show?
On the other side.
On ITV?
A Moment Like This by Leona Lewis, who was the winner of that year's X Factor.
Yeah.
There you go. UK box office, big film came out this year. Casino Royale has just been unseated by Happy Feet. It was number 1 for 3 weeks, Casino Royale.
Wow.
I can't believe...
George Miller's Happy Feet?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not even that good a film.
It's not.
It's
not even that great.
Really.
Also released this year, Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yeah, again, laboured.
Yeah, The Da Vinci Code.
Oh, yeah.
Cars.
Right, was it really?
Yeah.
Wow, that long ago. How's bells?
Borat.
Very nice.
My name. That's a different thing. Different meme.
My name's Jeff.
And, of course, should have won the Oscar that year, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Video games. Gears of War.
Right.
James Bond 007 From Russia with Love.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Bully, the Rockstar game.
The Rockstar game Bully,
Holy shit. Yeah. New Super Mario Bros.
Nice, yeah, got that.
Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy.
Very good, yeah.
That is very... I actually played that game. and Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training for Nintendo DS, which I think I got for Christmas that year. And I played it quite a lot. Yeah. Do you remember the build-up to this story? Because this was the kind of peak of the Who Spy Christmas calendar they used to have on the BBC website.
I was thinking that when we watched it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing like here's a picture of it was the bit when the cabbie drove up to them and on the side of the door it was like Santa's in Shoreditch or something like that. And I was like, oh, that is such a bloody TARDIS cam. Oh, that is what's going on.
Exactly. And I think the first one might have been a wallpaper, which was the Rachnos legs creeping around the sides of the TARDIS, which scared the shit out of me because I hate spiders.
You don't like spiders, do you?
Oh my God, this is going to be the spider episode of New Doctor Who.
So we watched this yesterday with my nephews.
Oh.
So the youngest is not really getting in with the Doctor Who stuff, and then the oldest one, we watched Star Wars a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, not really sure I like Doctor Who anymore, I like Star Wars again. And we were like, fuck. I was like, well, tough tits, because...
You're going to wake up at the bottom of a lake tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we were like, well, you're going to be disappointed on Christmas Day then, because you've got a lot of Doctor Who stuff coming. And, we were like, well, no, come on, we got to watch this episode, because... This is a Christmas Doctor Who one. We think you'll like it. Yeah. And they both loved it. Really? The little one was playing with his toys, and as soon as it sort of started, I don't know what it was that drew him in, but he got up and he sat next to me on the sofa, and he was there for the whole thing.
Love it.
Right to the end.
Brilliant.
So we were like, right, we have to show them more new series stories, because I think, especially for the younger one, the pace, I mean, that one whittles along.
It does.
It goes so quickly.
It really does.
I think that just the fast pacing was good. And they seemed all right with the Rachnos. Emilio, he's very much the oldest. He's very much like, how is that a person in a costume?
Right,
like,
he's already kind of asking about
we're like,
that
how does that work? You know,
Cool.
how did they do that? And we sort of, they put this stuff on them and stuff. They're like, don't worry, it's not actually a monster.
No.
It's just a person in a suit.
Oh my God.
You know,
when you have to get to the age where you have to start separating reality from fiction for kids.
Yeah, so then later on that day, I wasn't with him, but apparently Emilio turned around to Jonathan and said, Daddy, I actually was quite scared of that spider creature. And he was like, no, you weren't. You were fine. Shut up.
I remember being instantly not scared of it when it appeared on screen, though.
Really?
I thought this is going to be terrible, because obviously you see it from behind with the legs coming out from behind the web. I thought, oh my God, this is going to be awful. And then it appears, and it's not, I didn't find it scary, because it's kind of far enough away from being a spider.
Right.
That, it's just the abdomen and the legs, really.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of remember going, she's really chewing the scenery doing this, isn't she? But I loved it watching it today.
Yeah.
And we'll get there. We'll get to the Rachnos.
Yeah, I should probably get my notes, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Really? That would make sense.
While you're doing
would make
that,
a lot of sense.
I'm going to tell you, again, and this seems to happen every time we talk about an RTD era story. On the day this episode was broadcast, the Doctor Who Confidential Christmas Special went out.
Right.
Which was called Music and Monsters, which focused on the Children in Need benefit concert, Doctor Who, A Celebration, which was staged at Cardiff's Millennium Centre on the 19th of October 2006, but the full concert was available to watch on BBC's Red Button on Christmas Day.
Oh, nice. I can vaguely remember that.
90 minutes, and then there was a 40-minute version for BBC Wales, which went out in January. But, BBC One has 2 Doctor Who programmes on Christmas Day. It's bonkers. It's nuts.
What is...
What
now
timeline
look at
is
us.
this? I know. Sad gits living in their cave with their hoping for more Doctor Who to happen and come out, and we'll get there at some point.
I've just noticed you put Jodie Whittaker and
they're
Mandip
back
Gill
there.
Yeah,
they can rep the era that everybody is slowly starting to forget happened.
You'll
But
be-
I haven't forgotten. I still remember. I love you guys so much. We start in space again.
Yeah.
Just like last Christmas.
Yeah.
And just like Rose.
Yeah.
I like how that's a thing that this era does.
Do you think the next era will start off the same way? That might be quite a nice
that
little
might
nod.
be quite nice. I mean, as long as that's the only Murray score that happens in the whole of the new series, that they reuse that opening bit and they don't get him back. But it's only actually no, I have got some Murray moans to come up later on. I'll get onto that in a bit.
Murray moments.
Murray moans.
Murray moans.
Murray moans.
I think you said Murray moments. I was like, oh, that sounds like a
Murray
box of
has
chocolates.
his moments, but there are some Murray moans.
I love a box of Murray moments at Christmas time.
What did you when this first came on? Because I remember we watched the Christmas Invasion with each other like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
As soon as it started, we were like, "Oh yeah!" Sent me right back to Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Did you get the same thing with this?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. And I think now I've mellowed more, and I'm less of a miserable old bastard.
Unless it comes to her Doctor.
Okay, unless it comes to her Doctor Who. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a fluffy story. I mean, if you in comparison to the story we'll be reviewing next.
Yes.
Which I think is a different tier of Doctor Who. This is good.
Yeah.
But this is fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
It's fluff.
And
it's run around.
It's run around fluff, and I think I enjoyed it more watching it with children.
Oh yeah.
Because they were into it, and because of that, I could tell Johnny was into it more. I thought if I'd have put this on and it was just the two of us, he'd have gone about everything.
Because the kids
but
were
the kids were enjoying it, so he, by osmosis, started enjoying it.
I love that. That Christmas is kind of like that when you get older, though.
I think
my dad's always said, you know, before you have kids, as you get older, Christmas sort of means less and less and gets less magical.
Yeah.
And when you have kids, suddenly it's like, oh no, it's great. It's a lovely season.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like when my nephews come over, Christmas sort of gets a little bit more exciting. This year, Christmas has been really exciting for us because we're celebrating it with Annie, who is Jewish.
Yeah.
So we're doing Hanukkah as well as Christmas.
And she's marking that, is she? Because she admitted that she's a bad Jew.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
But she's celebrating it.
But she's celebrating it. So, you know, she's doing the food, and we've been lighting the, my God, my brain is... Menorah,
yeah.
Christ. Oh, dear, Annie, you're going to hear this. I'm so sorry. My brain. God, I was going to say the son of an RE teacher. No, the brother of an RE teacher.
Whoa, you're fucked, bro.
I don't know. It's all the Lemsip I've been on today.
I was gonna say either that or someone slipped some LSD in it.
Well, I don't know what's been in these glasses over Jingle Jam.
I tell you what's been in this room over Jingle Jam. And I did. Well, hence our voices.
Yeah.
But I found loads of cans and bottles of shit all over the place. I think Jingle Jam is basically get pissed, eat takeaway, and then go on stream.
Yeah.
And then go, oh, look at, there's £3 million, that's great, and vomit into a bucket, come back up. All right, now we're going to have some puppies come in and we're going to cuddle them and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't get that on this show.
No.
We should have some dogs on this show.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we could have had Gizmo, couldn't we?
We'd have to get in the Doctor Who jumper.
A day late.
We see Donna and we see Jeff Noble, who we never meet again.
No,
because very sadly the actor passed away.
Yeah.
But he shot stuff for Partners in Crime.
He did, yeah. You can watch it on the DVD.
See that on a... Oh, is it on the DVD?
It's on the DVD.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never... I mean, I stopped
introed
buying.
by Russell, and he says, you know, we could tell that it was just not gonna work.
Oh wow! I'd like to watch those.
Yeah, have a look.
I'm looking forward to at some point in the next like 20 years seeing it on the collection set. But if it's out already, that's good.
Yeah, way ahead of you. Back in the days when the box sets actually had some special features on it.
We just expect Doctor Who content that isn't like classic related to just have nothing on it these days, except the stuff that the digital team make for Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
But
I just feel a bit mad that stuff ends up on the DVD, and then that's a special feature. It's like,
they've got to get their money's worth out of it, though. That's the thing with the BBC is it's like if it goes on the iPlayer, you've got to stick it on the telly to make it worth the investment as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's just recycling a lot of content.
Sad though, isn't it? You just want some good documentaries.
I just want someone to sit down with Jodie and just like have an honest chat with her. You know, or like, you know, it would be great
wrong?
if we got John Bishop in here.
Yeah.
And we were like, so like, what was it like filming Doctor Who during COVID? And he wasn't just doing the thing that DWM forced writers to do, which was we had a lovely time and
gun to their head.
Yeah, it was a great time and we were in Doctor Who.
There's absolutely no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a plasterer. Not that ever makes it to screen, but there you go.
Damn the plasterer.
It's a weird 10th Doctor we're meeting in this because he's post-Rose.
Yeah.
With his hair.
Yeah, his hair's different, isn't it, in this one?
Well, weird.
Flat and...
Yeah. It's not quite as one-piece swoopy as the 50th anniversary. No. But it's sort of straggly, and I quite like it. I think it looks good.
Yeah, so where do we think the 50th fits in, then, in his timeline?
In his timeline, oh, man, I mean, he's still shagadelic, so it's at some point after Rose, isn't it? Because he's trying to get off with Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Probably.
Is it like Time Lord victorious time?
Yeah, because the suit seems quite Time Lord not Time Lord victorious. It seems quite end of time. Maybe it's his lap of honour. Quick shag with her Madge, and then that's his lap of honour, and she likes it when I do my hair like that. It really turns her on. Maybe that's why he's got.
Maybe
his hair
that's
like
why he's got it. Well, you've heard it here first, folks.
It's canonical. It kind of makes sense, you know. Yeah, and obviously it's before the Series 3 Last of the Time Lords, Oncoming Storm, kind of stuff.
Because when we watched it, Jonathan was like, "Oh shit, Martha Jones comes next, does she?"
Yeah.
Because he assumed that it went straight into Series 4. I was like,
no.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think. What did you think of the 10th Doctor in this? Because he does sort of straddle that line between. I mean, he's a mope for a lot of it because he's missing Rose.
Yeah.
And then he has his moments of, you know, swashbuckling action hero. And then right at the end...
He commits genocide.
He commits genocide.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And then, you know, he doesn't even... There doesn't seem to be much regret that he did it, either. I mean, I think overall he's really good.
Yeah.
I think he's fine.
Yeah.
He's not too wacky and doing dopey things or anything. It's a fair balance, I think, maybe.
But what do you think about that ending? Because it's the only thing in the episode that...
Her name was Rose.
Her name was Rose. About
good acting there.
Offing
he did it good.
Hey?
He did it good, Lord Tennant.
He did. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
I think he's really good in this. I mean, considering he's able to balance genocide with being lovesick.
Horniness.
With horniness. And then having this temp from Chiswick screaming at him.
Yeah.
There were a couple of moments where I was just like, oh, Catherine, just...
Dial it down.
A little bit less.
Had you been drinking the night before?
No. It's more that it's a bit incessant. It's just every line is her shouting, and it's just and obviously she changes through the story.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a thematic decision that she's just unbearable at the start.
And obviously she changes in Series 4 as well,
Exactly.
because she's introduced in Partners in Crime more like that, but then come the end, you know, the character evolves because you just couldn't sustain that for 13 episodes. You go insane.
No.
And it's the same with Nardole. You know, Nardole is pretty much a completely different character in one story, and they just thought, fuck, what can we do? Okay, boost the ratings, we'll get Matt Lucas into it.
And he's an android and things fall off him.
Yeah.
And I wonder if would Matt Lucas boost the rating?
Doubt it.
Well, not these days, but
no.
I wonder if he would have done it
back then. I don't think so.
I love Matt Lucas. I'm glad that he did manage to come back and do Doctor Who again, because he is a fan, and it just seemed a waste of talent in that Christmas special in the Husbands of River song.
Yeah.
And the same with, because Greg Davis is in that as well, and he's utterly wasted.
Oh God, that is an appalling story.
We were on the set for that. We should do that. Should we do that next Christmas? Next Christmas is... And then we'll have a nice one after that. We'll have a good one after that. We treated ourselves.
We did treat ourselves this year. I mean, this one it made sense to do.
Yeah, with everything going on. Yeah. I love Donna's culture shock scene with the TARDIS exterior.
It's really cool.
When because it's and not many people, in terms of all those scenes, you know, when people talk about when they do the lap around the box and they do the bigger on the inside thing, no one ever brings this one up.
No.
But there's a bit where she pokes her head through the TARDIS door and Tennant's there working on the console and he's got his back to her and he's ranting and raving and stuff. And you do get hit by her in the same way, like, he is alien and this is alien. They always do that culture shock thing really well.
Yeah.
In the new series. Russell really handles it well.
It's also a very good way of getting through exposition by being like, well, we don't want the camera to just be sat on David talking bollocks for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah.
What can we get Donna to do? Oh, you know, she gets this moment of realization.
And it's a nice, like, wide angle shot, wide lens shot of the console room.
Yeah.
So it makes it look vast and imposing. And then there's this bloke with his back to you doing shit.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, oh, yeah, this is alien. This is a bit weird.
Yeah. I mean, that whole opening is really good. How it's like, it starts off, it's like a punch in the face of like Donna going, opens the doors, space.
Yeah.
Comes right down, quiet, lovely moment, shut the doors, okay. And then let's build up and it's really good.
And then another one.
Yeah, the pacing is very good and very well done. And the chemistry is off the charts between those two.
Stella was like, they're really good on screen. I was like, yes, they are.
You can see Russell must have been like, we must get her back.
And they get better.
And they get better.
Because this is just one aspect of the relationship. And then you get they're a great dynamic for a modern TARDIS team that isn't like wanting to leap into bed with each other.
Yeah.
Because they just get on.
Yeah.
But they get on each other's nerves, but they jibe each other and poke each other in the ribs in the right way, and it's not mean.
Yes.
You know, like she puts him down, but in a kind of remember your place. Like you're not some great space dog.
It's that sort of, I guess, brother-sister relationship, isn't it? It's like, well, you know, I'll say the shitty thing, but you know really that, I love you really.
Yeah.
The motorway scene, or are we going too far ahead?
No, that was my
The
next
motorway scene, really good. Little callback to Terror of the Autons there, when she whips off the Santa mask and you see the droid underneath.
Of course.
But my God, that's a great scene. I mean, the CGI now obviously looks a bit ropey, and I mean, a lot of the CGI in places looks a bit ropey. It always seems to be when you put a human being up against like an expansive vista.
It's like the matte painting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the green screen, and we'll put the set in afterwards. But the set is like a flat image. It doesn't have like a depth.
There's no depth
to it.
Yeah, it looks weird. I was watching it. I was like, wow, this is like CSO levels of special effects.
I think as well, what doesn't help is that it's still being shot in standard definition.
That doesn't help.
And so everything looks a bit soft.
Yeah.
And so the TARDIS is like a slightly different, not massively, but it's like a slightly different hue, and it's a bit out of focus compared to the rest of the stuff around it. It's not quite as crisp, but that whole sequence is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what the kids loved. The kids were just really there for that.
And I love the cheesiness of having the kids in the back seat of the car watching it all happen, because you know it's like when you watch Doctor Who on the telly. It's like the parents aren't really paying attention.
Yeah.
They're too busy just trying to get these kids to their grannies for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they see this thing happening out the window, and I can't believe what's going on.
Those kids have been kidnapped, by the way.
Yes.
A whole different story. David Tennant should have been rescuing them.
They're about to get trafficked to Eastern Europe, and it's Murray Gold's composition, though, I think. My God, that is one of his best bits for the whole show. It's so good. And then they have the rooftop scene.
I do, going back to that bit of composition, I do love that bit when she's like, oh, your friend, did she trust you?
Yeah.
And then it all quietens down and you get the little bit of the 10th Doctor Rose sort of
theme.
That comes into it.
So, but we come out of this car chase scene, they're on the roof and they have a quiet little moment. And I don't know how far they got into the scene, but I was just like, the music's still going. And it's just really in the background. Wow. I was just like, not the same score, it's a different score. But it's that thing we've talked about with Murray that somebody very helpfully clued us in on in the comments, where he'll just write music for a scene and it's the discretion of the director as to whether or not that ends up in it.
Yeah.
But I was just watching it, I just thought, it doesn't need this music.
Incessant.
And it's that Murray music where it's like emotion. Yeah. This is what you're supposed to be feeling. Yeah. It doesn't need to be there.
Wow, I'm going to go back and rewatch that bit. It's just try and pick up.
It's supposed to be the quiet, contemplative, we're on the rooftop moment, and it's just playing a bit too much. It's that Series 2 thing where the music is just mixed far too loud.
Yeah.
And there's just a bit too much music anyway.
There were a few times where I was like, I've missed some dialogue here, because like all that stuff, which we'll come to later about the nano things. Are they not nano things?
Huon particles,
yeah. You know, some of that stuff I was like, oh, how do these work? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about another little musical moment?
Okay.
Do you remember the lyrics to Neil Hannon's
Love
Don't Roam?
I have wandered, I have rambled, I have crossed this crowded sphere, and I've seen the massive problems that I long to disappear. For all I have this anguished heart, for you have vanished too. For my girl, my precious girl,
just what is this man to do? There you go. Stick that on a Christmas single. We'll get to number one.
Yeah.
The Guardian reported that users of Outpost Gallifrey tried to drum up support for a charge at the UK Top 40 that Christmas by mass downloading the song on iTunes.
Jesus Christ.
That
sounds like such a Doctor Who fan thing to do.
Isn't it? It's like
fucking cringy as hell.
Isn't it? It's like when they try to rally people to call television centre.
Yeah.
It's like, no, people have lives, man.
Damn.
Jesus.
No one cares as much as you care.
No. Good tune, though.
It's good.
Love Don't Roam or Song for 10.
Ooh.
Or My Baby Put the Devil in Me, which is absolute filth. That's as filthy as bloody the Man with the Golden Gun.
And there's the other one as well. There's the one in The Voyage of the Damned.
Oh, what's that?
I'll find a way to be with my lover next Christmas Day, and I'll run and I'll roam, I'll cover the ground. Next Christmas I see you.
And this time around,
or whatever the words are.
Yeah, whatever it is. Why don't they get Kylie to do that?
Cool. Can you imagine?
She's right there.
Can you imagine the money? Imagine if they said, "Oh, you could have sung this, Kylie." She'd have been like, yeah.
And they could have used her single. The cover could have been DWM with her draped over the Dalek. Come on.
Yeah.
It literally prints money. That would have been great.
Unfortunately, I don't think the BBC prints enough money to give to her to do it. There's a small snag in that little plan.
So the wedding reception has started without Donna.
Yeah.
It was just massively out of order.
Yeah.
So obviously, and there's a mention of Neris earlier on.
Yeah.
That she would try and get Donna kidnapped, which is just mental. But I guess it's because her and Lance are having it. Lance is a filthy boy.
He's a prick.
He's having it off with Neris and a Spider-Woman.
Yeah, is he actually shagging Spider-Woman?
I don't know if they're shagging, but I think the inference is that there is a thing, there's an understanding.
I don't want to know how that works.
I mean, how did the Ratnos have all her babies?
Yeah, but she had their babies in the past, though, didn't she? They've been sat there under the earth.
It's just my sick mind. Rule 34, it will be on some subreddit somewhere.
Yeah. This is how I perceive Lance and the Empress of the Ratnos to procreate.
Let's not go there. Pilot Fish Robot Santas are back.
Yeah.
And they've got a remote control with a very visible battery compartment on the back. And I looked at it and I thought, is that the Dalek remote control, the 12-inch one?
No,
It's different.
It's some sort of games console thing that they've added stuff to. Like, not like a proper games console one, like one of those bootleg ones.
You get it at Pink Planet Games.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I need a spare controller. It's just there between the bongs and the BB guns.
Yes.
And the weird lighters with skulls on them. Empress of the Ratnos, love the star.
Yeah.
I think it's
very clever.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And I love the audacity of that design, that monster. It weighs half a ton, that thing.
I can imagine, it's humongous.
Really uncomfortable for poor Sarah Parish.
I think she did such a good job.
Yeah.
She committed to that 100%, 150%.
But that's all you can do.
Yeah.
In that outfit, you just have to go full batshit crazy.
Because I guess she's come from like such straight drama that suddenly I'm playing an.
So did the Popeye then. My snuffly sniffles or whatever she says.
Oh, Olive. Yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. And I mean, some of the lines are obviously a bit, they're a bit taking the mickey.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
She's great. She's really great. I remember as a kid, I was like disappointed that they didn't do more with her because obviously she's very static.
Well, yeah, but you kind of look at her and think, she kind of reminds me a bit of, remember that episode of Futurama where they go to the Slurm factory? And there's the massive slug that they're milking for Slurm. She kind of reminds me of that. It doesn't really, if she's so massive and imposing.
Yeah.
I think the problem is because she's obviously on a different set to David and Catherine.
Yeah.
You don't get the sense of scale with them.
Did you ever see the Ratnos in real life?
Was it one of the conventions?
It was at Red Dragon Centre.
I would have probably seen it at the Red Dragon Centre.
It's fucking huge. It was great.
God, I don't remember seeing it though.
Got the toy at home. That was cool.
Never got the toy.
I remember going into Forbidden Planet and saying to the guy, "Like, have you got the Empress of the Ratnos toy in yet?" And he's like, "There's not a toy of that." I was like, "There's literally a toy of it coming out."
Yeah.
Nah, there's no toy of that. I was like, "If you go on any website and look, you will know it's coming out. Do your job."
You should have worked for Forbidden Planet. You should be in their
done.
bloody stockroom, mate. Instead of doing this.
Yeah.
Could have earned a bit more money. I think between the Absorbaloff and the Ratnos, I think that's somewhere in between.
This is some sort of
this is another fan fiction I've written.
That you've got.
But somewhere between that is that spoof, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
I think because it's Christmas as well, and it's the following Christmas where they do that piss take. So I think that they've watched the Ratnos, and because Ricky Gervais can't write anything with heart unless Steve Merchant's involved, he's gone, look how shit that is, let's take the piss out of that.
Yeah.
And they've done that, and it's just like, oh.
But it looks so good. It looks really amazing.
It does. It's I don't quite get how she sits in it, though.
No, not me. I was looking at it
That's
thinking,
kind of the magic of it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, where's her legs? Has she, like, bent herself backwards like some mad contortionist?
Unless she's, like... Unless she's on, like, a plank of wood.
Oh, and it's like...
And she kind of comes up like that.
Oh, maybe.
But a lot of her abdomen, like the jutty bit, kind of moves. And like...
It's really cool.
Really impressive bit of work. So, you know...
Well done.
Good job, everybody involved in that. There is a bit in that scene which is before the Doctor goes full evil, which is just kind of half evil.
Yeah.
Where Lance is saying all this horrible stuff about Donna. He calls her fat.
Yeah.
And he does, just to immediately date it, Brad and Angelina is posh pregnant, X Factor, Atkins diet. You couldn't get more 2006 if you tried. No. But the Doctor doesn't sort of step in and go, hang on a minute. That's fucking, it's really rude.
You bold twat.
Exactly. You should eat him. You know, like, it doesn't happen. I was a bit surprised at that, considering how well they got on.
Yeah, true, isn't it, really?
Although she did slap him twice in that episode.
So maybe you thought, nah.
Do you know what? Fuck you. I'll let him say all the horrible things he wants about you. Seeing a companion slap the Doctor or seeing anybody slap anybody in like a kind of Amy Pond context is always fuck right off with that patter. That's awful. Don't do that again.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's a thing that telly at that time tended to do. Yeah.
It's cool. I guess it was like a sort of a slapstick thing. And then you sort of think, it doesn't really...
It's not cool.
No.
It's not cool, man. Don't be doing that.
Don't be slapping your Doctor Who's.
Don't be slapping your Doctor Who's.
Anyone.
I did write here... Yeah, anyone for that matter. I did write here, is the inference that Lance and the Empress are a thing. Because she does kind of my little sweet snack, or whatever she calls it. I can't remember. She says something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, we've got an agreement, you know, I'll like basically spike Donna for an exceedingly long period of time. Yeah. She's fucked in that context. It's just messed up.
Yeah. So I don't really get... The Huon particles needs a human host to activate? Is that what it is? And then it opens the ship? I got very muddled.
Is it like feeding like an animal grain so that her babies get really strong or something? No? I don't know. It's the Runaway Bride. I'm not trying to analyse this like some fucking English lit text with my highlighters, although I have got two pages.
You've got more than me. I have one sheet of my phone.
When we come to publish the compiled notes of the review of Death, Matt's section is going to be that many pages and I'm going to be that big. There is a Hanna-Barbera level cartoon clang when Donna hits the floor, and I went, fuck right off.
Yeah, I did as well.
Terrible.
I think we were all thinking it, but we didn't want to say it in front of the kids.
Yeah. But we all thought... weird callback to Rose in her doing that.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're in another underground lair under a London monument.
Yeah. I like how the Doctor's like, oh.
He does reference that.
Yeah.
So at least you think they can kind of get away with retreading that.
Yeah.
But also, it's mad. It's like, this is the first episode of Doctor Who since the revival that has got an entirely different cast than the one that started it. Because Billy Piper's gone. This is the first new companion since since the series started with Billy Piper.
Why isn't Wilf at the wedding?
He was in Shagaloof, living it up for Christmas. First time that we hear Gallifrey in the revived series.
Yes, I had that in my notes. Oh, and that's something that annoys me.
Go on.
This was something that really bugged me. That stuff on the bikes going down the corridor. And then they start laughing.
Segways, yeah.
The segways, I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
And we watched it and we were like, why are they laughing? It's not even funny.
No.
And Annie was like, well, it's the absurdity of it all. But even she was like, yeah, it's a bit dumb.
But they'd be pissing themselves if they saw that spider. Yeah. If you thought that Segway was funny, come and have a look at this Donna, the fucking size of her. Jesus. And then the Doctor commits genocide on the Rattles's children. I think it's probably made worse by the fact she's screaming.
Yeah.
My children!
And the kids... fuck me. The kids were like, why is she screaming like that? And we're like, well, he's killed all her babies. And they were like...
That's the noise that Jonathan would make if someone shut you guys in and someone tried to drown you lot. And... It goes on for ages, that bit.
Whew, it does.
Far too long.
Yeah.
And the Doctor's just there with water pissing down his face. And Donna's going,
what are you doing?
I think this is a bit fucked up.
Yeah.
I know that they tried to kill me and stuff, but come on, they're only babies. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a bit
much.
It is a bit much.
Also,
and he doesn't really, like I said, he doesn't really feel. There's no moment of, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that.
No.
There's no regret.
I was thinking where that, like, no second chances, I'm that kind of a man. But that's the previous Christmas.
Yeah.
So, but this is the only time up to that point he's kind of doubled up on that point.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty shit to the family of blood, isn't he? In Human Nature. He gets them all
they're
locked
like
up. Mega
evil.
Yeah.
Like, it's different to
They don't have a
Arachnos.
Popeye impersonation.
No. They just kind of turn their head like that, and that's kind of their gimmick. They don't go ag, ag, ag. And then Donna gets dropped off by the 10th Doctor, and they have a lovely little scene at the end there. This might be where we lose him. Careful, you're right. Well, we're both setting me off as well. The 42 review is going to be like 3 seconds long, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Just so you all know, it's not going to be a long episode to come into the new year with. And this is why. This is why.
Oh, dearie me.
All right, as long as I don't make him laugh for the rest of it, it's fine.
Oh, it was just as I was drinking, it just went down the wrong way, and that was it. I was dead.
You're all right. You're all right.
Oh,
You're alive.
dear.
You nearly drowned yourself like the
I
like
did,
his
yeah.
children.
I'm in solidarity with the Arachnos. Look at me with these fucking slippers on. Fucking twat.
They look great.
They're good, aren't they? They're really comfy.
Are they?
Look, my feet are lovely and warm.
Look at my feet.
Do you know
Look
what
how
I
warm
think?
they are.
The government should hand these out to people and say, "Yeah, you want to get warm at Christmas? Put these on."
I don't know. I mean, that's all they could probably bother to must. We've got a job load of Doctor Who slippers in the back. Yeah, next to the PPE stuff that we couldn't use because the contracts were all fucked up. Donna turning down the 10th Doctor is great though.
Yeah.
And that you're right. Yeah.
No, my.
You scare me to death.
Yeah.
Oh, it's impactful, isn't it? It's like
it is
because she means it.
Yeah, and you can tell it hits him.
Yeah.
And he sort of thinks, "Oh shit."
And we've seen evidence that he is a nutcase. That he's oh look at some of these segues, and then he's mass genocide.
Yeah.
It's
Of
like,
babies.
of children.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't want to come with you, mate. Like maybe go and. And it contextualises Martha really weirdly, especially because I watched 42 straight after this.
Right. Yeah, I watched it ass backwards. I watched it around the wrong way.
You watched 42
I watched 42 first, and then we watched.
Because she goes, you need somebody with you.
Yeah.
And then it's like he's gone, okay, well, I'll have someone just to sort of tell me off for a bit. But, so someone who really fancies me mainly is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And he does. And then she's like, you're a gobshite. I don't want to hang around with you anymore.
Yeah.
So by the time Donna comes back, was Martha just the stopgap before he came back and went, Donna, do you want to have another go?
Yeah, seems like it, doesn't it?
In
really?
context,
yeah,
it kind of seems that way.
This is the trouble. This is why I don't get on with the 10th Doctor, because he's just underneath it all.
He's very superficial and very sort of...
He's a dick.
He is a dick.
He's a massive bellend.
Yeah, yeah. And, he treats Martha pretty poorly.
Oh, yeah, he treats her like
42.
crap.
At the end of 42, which we'll talk about in the next episode, there's a bit where she sort of asks if he's all right at the end of it. And he's like... doesn't answer her. And it's like, A, you're a cock, but B, it's exactly what the 13th Doctor does to all of her companions, and spot the difference, it was written by Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of the ending anyway?
I like the ending. I think it's nice that she doesn't go with him.
Yeah.
And that I mean, it's great, in hindsight, because obviously she has all these wild ambitions, and then she ends up just working in an office, because... Yeah. That's what people do.
It's real life.
We all say, we're going to do this, I'm going to do this. We don't do it.
No.
Because we can't be asked.
No.
When the chips are down.
And then, and she just, I love Donna for that reason. Because
yeah, she's so human.
She
and I mean,
is.
So much of this was so real. I think in my, I thought I had a moment here where I was like, gosh, that's so human.
Yeah.
But there's so much of that in here, when they're talking about the scene on the rooftop, the stuff when Lance is berating her, you really feel it. That's a horrible scene.
It is really nasty to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again at the end when they have that sort of discussion about, "Oh, wouldn't you come in for Christmas?" And then he goes to bugger off, and then she's like, "Well, who's this girl?" And he's like, "Oh, what now?"
Yeah.
And then it hits him.
That's the kind of chemistry, like jibing thing,
yeah.
And her name was Rose!
Yeah.
And then he goes into the TARDIS and has a cry wank.
A crank.
Wee things I noticed. Shall I go through a couple of these things? Wee things I noticed. New logo appears in the title sequence for the first time.
Yeah.
It's not the weird bronzy thing. It's like the proper logo that you see on the merchandise. Which is
why
weird.
that changed.
Do you think maybe they were going to use the title sequence version in the merchandising? Because it sort of, I mean, it's not sort of used, but like there's a very basic, simplistic version which is on the Doctor Who magazine. I can't really think where else.
I wonder if it was just someone was like, actually, we can do it better now.
We can actually tie everything in.
Yeah, and I guess it's that thing of always keeping stuff fresh, because I've been listening to a podcast lately where this guy who works in the toy industry talks about how the packaging for toys, that has to change every so often, and a show, if it's marketed at kids and merchandise, that gets rebranded every so often because it has to keep it fresh. It has to keep it fresh both for the audience watching it and also tying in with the shops, because it makes it a very key indicator of, oh, this is
new.
This is the new stuff. So I wonder if it's that kind of thing, because obviously Russell's got such a good business head on his shoulders for telly. And I wonder if he just thinks, oh, it's just a slight thing.
Yeah.
But it will be...
Because next Christmas we get the rejig theme tune.
New theme, yeah.
And I mean, that's it. I mean, there's no other room to kind of manoeuvre for the rest of that tenure.
Yeah.
But it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
I did read somewhere, I think it was on the TARDIS wiki, that the title sequence changes from series 2 to this episode.
Oh, really?
There's some colour changes in there. If anybody can... I mean, this is the sort of stuff that we'll see in reappraisals when this stuff comes out in collection sets.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh yeah, that is a weird quirk.
Yeah.
Because you think the way TV's made now, it's because there's so many more people involved, and it's not quite as, in terms of certainly graphics and CG and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not quite as literally hands-on. You can see people's fingerprints on stuff. Like the old caption slides for 70s Doctor Who are different week to week.
Of course, yeah.
Even in the same story. But like you sort of notice things every now and again in the new series.
Yeah.
Like besides the 12th Doctor's
I was just
going to
say Peter Capaldi
wrong
stuff
all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I mean...
Do you think they should fix that for the collection set, or just leave it as...
I think they should have an optional extra to
fixed or unfixed.
And it's the least of the worries of that content that they need to fix. But unfortunately, there isn't a erase content button on on the Series 8 disc. Actually, no, Series 8's all right. Series 9.
Yeah.
Series 9 needs
there's some shit stories there.
junk archive material, junk source file.
Swap for...
the Daleks Master Plan.
Yeah.
They're Mr. Saxon.
Yeah.
So he's on a newspaper.
Oh, is he? I didn't notice
apparently,
him on the paper. Okay.
And he also orders for the Web Star to be destroyed.
Yeah.
There's a
cool,
musical...
isn't it, to think that the Master's out there? Like,
even at that point, he's laying the foundations. There's a musical reference to Torchwood. Did you hear it?
Yes, when he goes through the door.
Which is... and so it started by that point, had it? 2006?
Yes, it had, yeah.
I think it must have done. Donna slaps the Doctor twice in this episode, I've mentioned before. The Rachnos' extra eyes blink. I've never
that's
noticed
really
that before.
cool. I was very impressed.
I think that's probably CG, isn't it?
Yeah. No, Sarah Parish has many eyes.
She has that many eyes in her head. This is an optional extra. You have to pay me an extra 20 quid per blink for these.
Yeah.
There are 2 work in progress pieces from Murray Gold that crop up in this for later scores that you hear.
Oh, cool.
So there's a proto All the Strange Creatures when the army blow up the Web Star. And there's a sort of not quite first go at Martha's theme when they have the conversation at the end in the farewell scene. It's not the full thing, but there's like a little bit of I can see where that kind of follows on from, where musically he's continuing that.
Interesting.
That point
I like
left
that.
off.
It's kind of like the Shepherd's Boy, isn't it? When,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, this is just a little extra note. This was intended to be a Series 2 episode.
Interesting.
But Russell was told at late notice at the BAFTA screening of Parting of the Ways that a 2006 Christmas special had been greenlit. And so Tooth and Claw replaced it in series 2, which was bumped from episode 6 to episode 2.
Right.
And another thing where you think, okay, yeah, I mean, production orders for TV shows change all the time. And you think, all those documentaries they've made on Doctor Who DVDs and Blu-rays where they go, this was the intended episode to go in this slot.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't think of the new series as being, it's interchangeable where those stories sort of go.
And especially with something like this where the hell would Rose be in this story?
Yeah, exactly.
The
Runaway Bride, like what context does that work in a non-Christmas? I can only ever view that in the context it's made in and released in, obviously, but interesting to know that wasn't the original plan.
Very interesting.
Anything else you can think of?
Anything else? I don't really think there's much else for me to say other than I enjoyed it.
Yes.
I thought it was really good. It was good fun.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, lovely ending. One thing, I mean, you can tell that my nephews are their father's son.
Yeah.
Because when the TARDIS goes off into space,
I can hear.
The kids were like, Amelia went, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It doesn't do that.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah. And we were all like, yeah, it's a bit weird. Why does it do that?
When does the TARDIS do other things that... he's just showing off.
Yeah.
Look at the size of my machine, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's
a bit like that, isn't he?
He is. He's a massive show-off. Anything to get someone into bed. Let's have a look at the thoughts of the Rodders. Matt, I'm going to take the ones in bold.
Right.
And you can do the non-bold ones.
Okay.
Joe Dobson, a great carry-on from Series 2. Christmas Invasion was a tough one to follow, but this one delivers.
Frazzle's review says, I love it. Silly, camp fun with great dialogue and character writing. And the TARDIS car chase is iconic.
M. Stone Hennessy, I loved this episode up until the rooftop conversation. After that, it degenerates into a noisy, ugly, I agree it's noisy, ugly mess. Quite like some Christmases I've had, he says.
Interesting. Bunny Galore says, it's a glorious wild ride. That taxi and TARDIS scene and the Emperor's costume was next level. It felt very much like a Doctor Who movie. Yeah, it does. There's a lot of money been put into this one.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And yet there's a couple of sets that look like wood. There's the bit, it's basically the one where he has to climb up the Thames embankment, and it's sort of sprayed silver.
Yeah.
And it looks like wood sprayed silver. And then he has to turn that thing and then you push it open. It's like, there's a bit of it chipped in the bottom right hand corner. And you're like, it's still Doctor Who.
That's it, isn't it? On watching it back now, so much of it feels like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Which is a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily see Tom or Peter doing stuff in one of those sets.
And you'll see it when the Jodie stuff turns 20 years old.
Yeah.
You'll look at it and go, that's a bit dodgy, and you go, oh no, there's an affection and a warmth coming from the fact you can see the production and stuff isn't quite mixed properly, or I haven't heard that person's bit of dialogue because the channels are wrong or whatever. Stuff like that happens all the time. And then Bobby Dazzler rounds us off with, I adore this episode. People refer to Donna's journey in Series 4, but in one story she develops so much. And she does. You kind of get the feeling she's going to go, do you know what? I'm worth more than this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on and take on the world. And then she carries on temping. Yeah. Reality, folks. Reality bites.
Yeah. Well,
there we go.
That was it.
The Runaway Bride.
Yeah.
I would give it... I would give this 6.5 to 7 Rachnos child cadavers out of 10.
I would give this, maybe a 6 as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those stories where you have to be in the right mood to watch it, because I
find that with most of the Christmas specials.
Yeah, I think if you're not in the right zone, you're not going to enjoy it as much as you would if. Yeah. So I think 6 just to play safe, possibly a 7.
Fair enough. Wow, Matthew Toffolo, did you think 5 years ago you'd be sat here in this room on this sofa, saying 7 out of 10, The Runaway Bride?
Yeah,
I don't think you would have.
No, I don't think I would have. Maybe 6. Yeah, maybe 6 is.
Oh, fine. All right, I ruined it. I ruined Christmas. I thought he'd stop being a Scrooge.
It's a Christmas miracle that isn't going to happen.
No, never mind.
Sorry.
Well, we hope all your Christmas miracles come true.
Yeah.
We hope you have a fantastic Christmas. This is the last Rod of the year.
Yeah.
So a massive thank you to everyone who's watched, liked, shared, commented, followed us on social media, become a Patreon supporter, which has been nuts. The continued support on that through the year is crazy, and we love making the extra commentaries and the extra reviews and the Q&As and stuff. So if you do fancy gifting a subscription to the Patreon for Christmas, starts from £3. I mean, I know there's a lot of charities out there that could do with your money, but we're a charity case. I'm moving to the other side of the world in the new year, so anything would be helpful and useful. And what have we got coming up in the new year? So as we've given away,
42 is next.
And then I can refer.
You can tell me. You've got the sheets.
To the list. We're also going to be doing the Roddies again, which is going to be good fun. And we're going to do Paradise Towers. Yeah. We have got maybe a little run through of Doctor Who cartoons.
Oh yeah.
And a Fifth Doctor story. And an 11th Doctor story from the season that we tend to shit on the most. And that will likely be the last review before I head to New Zealand. See if we can maybe make a bit of a redemption arc out of it if I actually can find good things to say about Series 6. I highly doubt it, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. The only other person or people it's worth thanking probably besides our lovely viewers is Sam, producer. Yeah. TJ and Pierre. Yeah. Both tech people here at the Yogscast who, I mean, TJ was literally in here with me setting all this stuff up. So, thank you to everybody who's put all the effort in. The guy who made our website as well. Yeah. It was just nuts. It's insane.
Yeah, bonkers.
It's going to be a brave new world in 2023, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Well, I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas or whatever it is you'll be celebrating. Yeah. And we'll see you on the other side for 42.